Hey everyone, it's me, your fighter pilot. Yeah, I got an amazing request how to fly an F14 in VRChat. Well, and I'm here on an aircraft carrier with a bunch of F14 fighter jets. And yeah, I already got my equipment. I got my helmet, I got my flight suit, and we're definitely going to fly jet. Flying jet is basically quite easy. When you hop in, engines already start, so that's not a big problem. But I'm going to show you in the cockpit how it's gonna look like. So see you down there at my jet. So this is in the cockpit, the engine's already running, so I gotta be a little bit louder, but I'm going to close the cockpit and I show you how, because as you can see there are controls, and I just simply use the left stick on my controller to switch over the canopy, pull off a trigger, and we are in the jet, and it's now quieter, so yeah. One other thing. Now we have multiple things we can see. We have the cruise, we have flight limits, probe, flare, catapult, brake, altitude, hold, and of course the canopy. And on the other hand, we have our weapons. The guns, the AAMs, the AGMs, the bombs, the gear, the flaps, the hook, and smoke. Smoke can be changed by simply turning it on and holding the trigger, and then it just move your hand around. I'm just gonna put it a nice pink. There we go. I'm not gonna use the smoke trail though, so I'm turning it off again. But in order to get it ready for takeoff, first of all we're gonna take off the flight limits, because we don't need the flight limits. They are there to limit your capability of taking turns, so you don't stall quite often. But if you're quite more experienced, you don't need that. And we don't need the flaps for takeoff. You need the flaps for landing. Don't use the gear right now. So now to the HUD. There are, as you can see, a lot of things in the HUD. First of all, we have a compass. Then we have the top left. There are two zeros. It's the airspeed. We have the ground airspeed, so seen from the ground, and we have the actual airspeed, so yeah. That's gonna be important for carrier landing, or any landing, because we have to lower the speed. Then you have another zero on the top right. It's showing your climb rate, and the 65, which is how many feet we're above zero. And on this carrier we are 65 feet above zero. Of course we see the HP bar. Then we have this weird symbol over the M, which is the angle of attack. The M shows you how many Mach we're doing. So 1 Mach is known as the speed of sound. And yes, this fighter jet can break the sound barrier. To the no, actually we stay on the left side. The G shows you, of course, G forces, how many G's we're pulling. 1.0 below it shows you the maximum G force you actually pulled. Then you have your weapon system. You have 6 Sidewinder missiles, the AAMs. You have 2 AGMs and 16 bombs. And below that is, first of all, your thrust. The thrust bar to the left. Top middle is the symbol for there, that little symbol, and the bar that shows you how much ammo is left in your gun. And then you have this square which shows you basically which control surfaces are activated and in which direction you're basically heading. If you want to know, there is this W thing in the middle. That's your actual nose, what the plane is actually pointing at. And during the flight you will see a circle with 3 notches on it, which is basically the heading of the plane, where it's going. And then we have to the right, gear down. Yeah, it shows you exactly what is selected. This is also the crosshair for the guns. So if I activate the flaps show up. First yellow, then green. Yellow means it's in use or it's deploying. Green means it's deployed and ready. So, now to a little bit more of the functions. We have the flares, which is basically if you're getting locked on by missiles and those missiles fire, then you will hear it because it's a fast beeping sound. Then you fire flares and try to do evasive maneuvers. Basically, you can't do just one. You need to do all of it. Evasive maneuvers and flares. Down here is your fuel. You need that, of course, to fly, and yeah, it's getting lower, so you have only limited airtime. Those are your channels. Yes, you can switch the channels. So yeah, AAMs. What does it stand for? As I said, it's your Sidewinder missiles. AAM stands for anti-air missile. AGM for anti-ground missile. And the hook is used for carrier landings because I can show you outside. You see these cables on the deck? These cables are used to catch your plane during the landing. Flaps are to slow your plane down in the air. Then you have the brake, which is, as it says, brake when you're on the ground. The catapult is gonna be activated as soon as we are in a catapult. Altitude hold is when you activate it, you can let go of the controls and the plane is flying at a steady height. It's not dropping down, it's not going higher. Of course you have to be a little careful when you let go of the stick because sometimes it likes to just drop. That would be bad. Now, cruise control is something I'm not going to address because I'm not using it. Cruise control is basically holding your speed at a certain level. During combat, you don't need that at all. Flight limits, yeah, already shown. And now the probe. I can actually activate it and show you what a probe looks like. It's that thing. You need that for air-to-air refuel. Yes, and there is somewhere a plane. Where is it? Up there is a plane. I don't know if you can see it. It's right at the clouds. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. There it is. So basically, yeah, you can refuel at this plane. Now, I see somebody is there. Now back to actually explaining those things. We're gonna take a look at it really soon, but now how about we're gonna take off. I'm gonna switch the camera over to here. This is the plane from the outside, and then we have, as you can see, the wings are already extended, so we're ready for that. Now that's a flight deck, and we're going to move now. First of all, we don't need a probe. So, as I've shown you, we're already in flight configurations. Just turn the flaps off. In order to move, where is it? There's the camera. You have its control. You grab it and you push forward to move, as you can see. And yes, I just activated the brake in order to stop. And then you have your flight stick, of course. Since I grabbed the camera, it's also tied to the same hand, so yeah, it's moving with it. And that's basically what you need. To activate or deactivate something on this panel, you just simply pull the trigger. Now let's move in position. Now we're in the catapult, and the catapult actually shows now we're ready. So we select the catapult, make sure the flaps are actually off. I don't know why it turned on again, but hey, that seems to be one thing. Oh yeah, right, that's because I tried to switch between cameras. Okay, now the whole takeoff scene from my perspectives. As you can see, we have now full power. Switching to gear and catapult already. Keep it at full power and hit the catapult. Gear up. And now it's time to actually fly this thing. As you can see, there is the smoke trail. I have it on, yes. Even though I said I wouldn't, because we don't need it. But, you can do a roll, you can do it in the other direction. And we're already supersonic. Now you can see 30.9 G was the highest we just pulled. As you can see, when we do these turns, speed is going down quite a lot, and we just did a 17.7 G. That's not what this plane is built to do. And we're still supersonic, so this is a very dangerous one. Yeah, and that's the turn we just did. Anyway, in order to get ready for landing, we need to slow down. And I see somebody is just here and flying too. Don't shoot at me, I'm recording a video for YouTube. So in order to land, we have to slow down significantly before we go and do that turn. Turn the hooks on, the flaps and the gear to lose even more speed. And as you can see, I'm still heading for those all platforms. But soon enough, we're getting ready to make a turn. We have an airspeed of roughly 300 knots, and that is just perfect. And that's the carrier. So in order to land on the carrier, we have to line up with the rear of the carrier and its deck, the flight deck, as you can see, this one. Now we're still a little too fast. 270 knots is not good. We have to have an airspeed of roughly 210 to 200, 230 is the max you could go. Now line up the plane with the carrier, aim in that direction, down, speed down, the hook has captured that, and we are now on the deck. And that's how you land the plane. And that was a super good landing. And yeah, that was a... because somebody is flying over there. That was a sonic boom. So now, that's basically how you fly the plane. And even though there is no combat action in this video, that could be in the next one. How to evade missiles, or how to fire an AAM or AGM, because that takes a little bit more setup. And yeah, now you know how to fly a plane, which is the most important thing. You need to learn how to fly the plane. First of all, takeoff, the flight itself, and then the landing. Anyway, that's basically how you do all that. See you in the next video, and I hope this was a little helpful for you. Get ready for a sonic boom. Or not. Bye.